Hello dear students. Today we will be discussing the topic permanent magnet moving coil instruments. These are also known as PMMC instruments or simply moving coil instruments. As the name indicates, permanent magnets form the important part of this particular instrument. You will have a permanent magnet system, you will have a moving system or the deflecting system which produces a deflecting torque. You will have a control system which produces a control torque, and you have a damping system which provides the necessary damping, and ultimately you can end up at the entire meter. Now this PMMC instruments will help you to measure the current through the coil. So you will be having a coil available, and coil will be deflecting under the influence of uniform magnetic field. So we'll have a uniform magnetic field available because of the permanent magnet system, and the coil will be deflecting in this particular magnetic field under the influence of this field. This coil will be carrying the current, and coil will be deflecting in the magnetic field, and this deflection can be seen is reflected towards a pointer which will be moving over a graduated scale. Hence we can see the reading of the meter. Now we'll quickly go through the construction. We have the permanent magnet system, which is indicated by north and south poles, and then we have the moving system with aluminum frame. This is the moving system. We will have an aluminum frame over which the coil is being wound. So here also you can see that you'll have here it is indicated as soft iron cylinder. It is normally aluminum is being used. Aluminum is the former, and over which the coil is being wound in this manner. So these are the permanent magnets. Now you will have a shaft. This is a shaft to which this moving system is attached, and the shaft is connected to or pivoted with the help of jewel bearing at the top and bottom. And to the shaft, the spring is attached. So you will have one spring here and another spring here. So this spring will be serving two purposes. One is it carries the current in and out of this particular instrument. It will be carrying the current in and out of the instrument. It also provides the necessary control torque required for the operation of this particular instrument. To the shaft is attached the pointer. The pointer moves over the graduated scale, which is also provided with a mirror. A balancing weight is also provided along with the pointer's arrangement in order to balance the weight of the pointer in order to reduce the errors due to gravity. So the same setup is being shown here also. You'll have a mirror, pointer, you have a scale, and you'll have aluminum or soft iron cylinder. You'll have the moving coil, magnetic field, the magnets and the magnetic field, and the balancing weight. Now the necessary deflection force is provided by the permanent magnets. So you'll have permanent magnets which will be providing the uniform magnetic field, and this magnetic field will be in this direction, and we have the coil which is carrying the current. Once the current carrying coil is placed in a magnetic field, it will be experiencing a force. The force will be in this direction as it is shown. So here you will have a force in the upward direction, here you will have a force in the downward direction, and this net effect results in a rotating effect for this particular moving system. And here the flux lines are shown to be bending here. Actually this is to show that, or this is just for the representation purpose, that you'll have a force generated just like a rubber band stretching out. Actually your flux lines will be in straight lines from north to south, and under the influence of this magnetic field you'll have a force generated, and this force causes the coil to rotate. In one side of the coil to rotate in the upward direction, other to rotate in the downward direction, whatever be the direction that we place the meter. The controlling force is provided by the spring, which is made of phosphor bronze, and the spring will be carrying the current in and out of the entire instrument. So you'll have one spring at the top and other at the bottom. One of the spring will be compressing or contracting when the pointer moves, and the other will be expanding, so that whenever you'll have no current in the system, whenever the instrument is not carrying any current, the pointer will be kept stationary at 0 point or at the initial point, and whenever you'll have a current flowing in the system, you'll have a force being generated in the moving system, and this deflecting force causes the moving system to move, and which will be balanced by the controlling force of this particular spring. And once this balance out, you will have a pointer settling down to a particular value, and which indicates the reading. Now the spring will be stopping to rotate or stopping to wind once your deflection force and the controlling torque force balances. The damping force is provided by the help of eddy current dampings. So since you have permanent magnet system available, the easiest method to provide damping is going for eddy current damping. So you have aluminium former or aluminium frame over which the coil is wound. So once the aluminium frame is under the influence of permanent magnets, and once the aluminium frame rotates, what happens? You will have circulating current being generated in this aluminium frame, and this currents will be opposing the cause, which is the movement, and hence the movement will be stopped, or the oscillations will be stopped, and you'll have the pointer settling to a fixed value. And the eddy currents are possible only once you have a permanent magnet available. So this eddy current will be damping out the oscillations of the coil and as well as the pointer. And the force will be provided only once the coil is moving. Assume that your pointer is at 0 value or at the starting point. Here you don't require any damping force, and hence damping force will be coming into picture only once your coil starts to move or your force is being applied. You will have a damping torque or a control torque in the system. You are also provided with a zero control. The zero position control is to adjust and calibrate the coil and pointer position when no current is flowing. That is, in order to, whenever you have zero current flowing or when the meter is not used, your pointer has to be settling at zero value. If it is settling at some other value, it can be adjusted using the zero control. Then a balancing weight is also provided, which we have already seen, in order to balance the weight of the pointer to reduce the gravitational effect or gravitational errors in the system. And you can see that you will have two springs. One spring carries the current in, then the current is flowing through the coil, and then you will have another spring which takes out the current. And the force will be in unidirectional manner only once the current is flowing in a single direction. Once the current is flowing in multi-direction, that is, in the case of an AC system, you will have current flowing in current direction reversing every half cycle. So in such cases, force on this moving system also will be reversing, so that you will not have any deflection, rather you will have only vibrations. So this inherently this PMMC is not used for measuring AC currents. It is generally used for measuring DC currents. This can be used for measuring AC currents provided you are having a rectifier system in order to rectify the AC and provide a unidirectional current to this PMMC instrument, so that it will be generating a unidirectional torque. Now the current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field will experience a force, and the direction is defined by the by Fleming's left-hand rule. So this is a general working principle for this PMMC, and the magnitude of this force will be proportional to the current that is flowing in the wire. So we'll quickly go through the working. So these are the permanent magnets which are available, and to this permanent magnet we'll have aluminium former. So this is aluminium frame over which the coil is being wound. So this orange color shows the coil, and this is aluminium frame, and this is a shaft of this particular meter, and you'll have two springs attached, one at the top, another at the bottom. The springs will be carrying the current, and from the spring the current will be flowing through the coil, and towards the bottom side you will have the second spring. And once the moving system produces some torque, you will have TD, that is directional torque, deflection torque produced, and opposing to that you will have a control torque produced due to the operation of the spring. And hence once the TD and TC balances out, when TD is equal to TC, your pointer will be coming to a standstill, and at that position you will have some damping force also generated, which will be due to the eddy currents that is flowing in this aluminum frame. So you will have some eddy currents flowing in the aluminum frame which will be circulating in nature, and due to that you will have a damping force which will be dampening out the oscillations once the pointer is coming to rest. Now if the permanent magnet field is uniform, and if the spring is linear, spring is having linear characteristics, then the pointer deflection is also linear. You will have a linear pointer deflection. Okay, I'll explain what this is. And this linear relationship can be used to determine the amount of current that is flowing through this particular wire, and this is generally used for measuring direct currents. And we'll quickly move to the torque equation of PMMC instruments. You'll have current I, which is flowing through this spring and through the coil, and then moving out through the next spring, and we have n number of turns forming the coil and a constant flux of flux density capital B. And in such a case, once this current carrying coil, when placed in the magnetic field, experiences a force which is given by F is equal to BIL, and or it is also known as BIL sin theta, where theta is the angle between the flux density and the current. So here flux density and current are perpendicular to each other, so sin theta will be 90 degree or sin theta will be 1. So you'll have F is equal to BIL. Now if, and L is the active length of the conductor, that is the length through which your flux density is there. Okay, so this is the active length of the conductor, and the distance between two sides of the coil is small d, and the torque that is produced, the deflecting torque that is produced, is given by Bi into L cross D, or L into D can be turned as area. This is deflecting torque per turn, and for n turns you will have Bi into area into number of turns, or BINA. So here you can see that deflection torque is proportional to the current, assuming that all others are constant, flux density, number of turns, and the area is constant. So the deflecting torque will be proportional to the current that is flowing through that particular coil, and the control torque, as we have already seen, is proportional to the deflection of the spring, since we are using spring type of control. At steady state, TC will be equal to TD, and once you equate TC equal to TD, what you will get? Kc into theta equal to BINA, or you can say that your theta is proportional to the current that is flowing. Once the current that is flowing in the coil increases, or the instrument increases, you will have more deflection. And some of the advantages of PMMC instrument are the power consumption is less. You will be getting a uniform scale. I'll be explaining this in detail in the next lecture. It generally has a high torque to weight ratio, that is that helps to improve the its response in the initial period, that is in order to reduce the dead zone and dead time. And it has a reliable eddy current damping. It is not affected by strained magnetic field, since it is having a strong permanent magnet field, and it has no hysteresis losses also, and it can be modified as an ammeter or voltmeter with the help of suitable resistances, which also will be dealt in the next lecture. And AC cannot be measured inherently, it has to be modified to measure AC. It has aging effects, and inherently the maximum allowable current is 20 milliampere. It has to be modified. It also has to be modified. It has to be connected with some resistances to increase the range of the meter. And how can this PMMC instrument be used? This instrument can be converted to meter once used for a specific application. So this PMMC instrument, when used for current measurement, can be termed as ammeter, and when used for a voltage measurement, can be termed as voltmeter. And PMMC ammeters can be designed to measure up to 100 amperes, though inherently it is able to measure only 20 milliampere. Similarly, PMMC voltmeters can be designated or designed to measure up to 600 volt. Both are DC values. Okay, so with this we'll stop the current lecture. So we'll meet with a new lecture with extension of range of PMMC instrument. Thank you.